Hey everybody, hope you're having a really good morning. Wanted to share with you something about investments. It's a painting that I did on a Canson flatboard. It's a flatboard. You can get these at Hobby Lobby. They're around $5-6 with tax. And I gotta tell you, I really enjoy painting on them. I gesso them. Let me see, I use different types of gesso. I gesso them just like I would do a stretch canvas board, lightly gesso them like I would a stretch canvas board, and I enjoy them. Now, I'm going to talk about some type of investments, okay? As artists, not only do we need to invest, we need investors. And I gotta tell you, my husband is one of my biggest investors. Not only does he teach me, he's been to school for this, he is a wonderful artist himself, but this is something that I'm actually I have a burning passion for. So I want to talk about investing, and I want to talk about investors, okay? Because anybody who is an investor in what you do sees the potential. Number one, they see your potential, and they see the quality of your work. And the quality of your work comes through the characteristic, what you invest in it yourself, the time, the sweat, the education that you put into growing and developing, not just in the skill, but in the technique. So when I first started off doing mountains, I was really struggling. My husband would give me an assignment. My first assignment from him was trees. He wanted me to learn trees. So I practiced all kinds of trees, and I started learning different types of trees, different ways to do trees. And I'm going to show you this in a little bit. So here you see shadow trees, right? And then right here you see these long, beautiful stemmed trees. And then I did evergreens. So I learned to do trees. I was practicing trees. I learned to actually spend time developing not just the skill, but the technique. So let's talk about investment. Let's talk about investment before we talk about investors. When we start off doing art, when we start off anything, whether it's through the arts, whether it's a skill set that we have, whether it's engineering, being a teacher, a pastor, anything that we do, we are going to have to invest our time doing it. Our time doing it. Now, I am a Christian artist, so I invest my time with the Lord. Lord, how do you want this done? How can I use these colors? What colors do I even use? What picture does God put in my spirit that I can put on a canvas board? So number one for me is my relationship with Christ, because every good gift in James chapter 2, every good gift and every perfect gift comes from my Father above. So I have to accredit his gift to him and the ability that he's given to me. He's trusting that I would invest in learning the skill and developing the technique. Okay, so my very first, for me personally, is my relationship with Christ, because everything that I do derives from him. It derives from my Father. The next thing that I want to do is, what kind of medium am I going for? Do I have a desire for acrylics? Do I have a desire for watercolor? Do I have a desire to learn resin? Do I have a desire for pottery? Do I have a desire for drawing? What medium am I going to spend time investing development with technique and skill, with skill and technique? So my relationship with Christ, which one am I going for? For me, I love oil. First, I love acrylic. I love watercolor. I love oil. And I got to tell you, I was really intimidated with watercolor until I started loving how God used me to utilize that medium the way that I feel comfortable doing it. Okay, so even though we're learning the skill and developing the technique, remember, I am learning from someone not to become them, but to bring out of me what God wants me to be, which is original and unique. So even though we develop the technique and even though we develop the skill, we can still be unique enough to say, God, how am I to be placed on this canvas? Now, it might be blue skies. Somebody's sky might be a little lighter than this. Somebody might not want to do a blue, teal, white mountains. They'll learn the technique, or they'll learn the skill, but develop their technique, how they see it happening. Okay, so it's my relationship with Christ, and it's the medium of my choice. Am I going to do all four? Am I going to do the watercolor? Am I going to do the acrylic? Am I going to do the oil? Am I going to do the alcohol ink? It might be all four. With me, it's all four. So I spend time developing the technique and the skill, but I do have one favorite medium, and well, actually two. I have two, and that is my acrylic paint and also my alcohol ink. I love that. Okay, so my relationship with Christ, where am I going to develop this skill and technique? Which medium of my choice? It could be, okay, I'm going to spend 6 months on acrylic. I'm going to spend 6 months on watercolor. I'm going to spend 6 months, whatever. Okay. So make sure you set aside time to do that. So this was my first summer having off, getting ready to go back to work because school is starting. This is my first summer having off. So I spent a lot of time painting and developing, going on get into classes, finding the teachers that I found comfortable with them teaching me, listening to constructive criticism that allows you to be you, but also develops you even more in what you're doing. All right. After that, after I got my relationship with Jesus, because everything that comes through his heart through me goes onto this canvas board, or whatever canvas board I paint at the time. Then I have to I'm realizing, okay, which one am I going to really set my time into? And I'm going to focus on that particular medium. It might be music. It might be dance. It could be anything. But what am I going to surrender my time to so that I can be better at what God invested inside of me? Okay, now it's the supply list. Now I have to tell you, because I do all four. I do all four. I have brushes for my acrylics. I have brushes for my watercolors. I have brushes for my oil paintings, which I'm going to actually kick into play Monday with my husband. And I have tools for my alcohol ink. So we're going to talk about that, the tools that you need to invest in. Now, I am learning, guys, that with my mediums, which brushes I like to use the most. Now, you're going to have artists that are going to be teaching you, and they're going to be teaching you using your fan brushes, your flat brushes, your, where's my wide brushes? Your wide brushes. They're going to be teaching you using your palette knives. They're going to be teaching you, the round brushes. And I love these brushes. These are my puff brushes. Now listen, I'm going to tell you a story about this later on. Lord, remind me, please. But this is my favorite brush. And when I started out, I really didn't know how to take care of my brushes. And what I would do is I would wash my brushes and I would sit them in the water. while I was painting, they would stay in the water. I wouldn't wash them off. I would let them sit in the water for a long period of time. And then I would hold them, go rinse them out, and I would hold them upright in a cup, and the water was dripping down the wood. And what happened is it corroded my wood, came out, came out of the set of the brush, and I threw the wood away, but I kept the brush. This is my favorite brush. I use these for plants. I use these for trees. This is my brush, and I promise you, if I find any more, I'm going to get about 6 or 7 of them the next round, so I don't have that problem anymore. Although I wash my brushes now, I use, I just got this, the Master Soap. I rinse my brushes. Sometimes I use Dawn dish liquid, and I rinse them out real good, getting all that color out. And then I rinse them out, wipe them down with a towel or a nice dry rag, and I lay them flat on paper towels and let them dry overnight. After I reposition them back in the position that they were originally in, okay? So I invest in all kinds of brushes. Now, the brushes that your teachers or your instructors may be comfortable using, you may find yourself being comfortable developing the skill with the same technique with a brush that you feel comfortable handling in your hand. Now, those brushes are to be handled lightly, be able to move around on your canvas board, not tight. It's very freeing. So your brushes are important, okay? Now, after you, for me, after I got my brushes, I started looking at all kinds of paints, okay? I started getting books on, literally schooling myself on acrylic paints, okay? The types of acrylic paints: soft body, fluid, ready pour, hard body. Am I going to use Master's Touch? Am I going to use Golden? Am I going to use Nik Pro? If you're beginning, just get an acrylic paint. You can get them from Walmart. They're really cheap. And find some beautiful teachers on YouTube that can actually teach you, for beginners, how to bring about a consistency in your soft body and hard body paints so that you're able to have that fluid paint. So it's easy to move across the canvas board or on your watercolor paper or alcohol ink paper. All right. So I have 3 favorite types of paints that I use, okay? I use the Golden. It's a slow drying Golden, and it comes with 12 colors and also a beautiful oil that I actually pour a little bit into my paints so that it moves like an oil paint. So I love Golden. Now, this board that I'm showing you today is from Golden. Those colors are vibrant. They pop. They're beautiful. And I love the life that Golden slow drying paint gives, okay? The other thing you might want to invest in is a color wheel, because color wheels, my husband just showed me how to work this because I didn't know how to work a color wheel. Like I said, I'm a baby at this. I'm an amateur, all right? And he showed me how to utilize the color wheel and how to mix my colors so that if something didn't come into my package, I know how to combine 2 colors or 3 colors together to come up with the color that I'm looking for. All right, so I love Golden. I absolutely enjoy, label's not here, I ripped it off, Amsterdam. I love Amsterdam, and I use their, and I love Liquitex. I love Liquitex. These are the colors, these are the paints that I absolutely use. Now, when I started out, I used Nik Pro. I went to Walmart and I used Apple Barrel because they were economically good. Remember, you're an investor. You are investing first before investors come. So you have to put something into what you are doing. Okay, it can't be everybody pay for it. No, you have to invest first. That means your sweat, your time, your sacrifice, your money. All right, and so those are the 3 that actually 4: Golden, Amsterdam, Liquitex, and Master's Touch. That's the 4. Master's Touch. I love all of those. I utilize all of those, and they are great. So the Lord, my relationship with the Lord first. I don't know about you. What's first? My brushes, what medium am I going for? My brushes. Now I'm going after, what paint am I going to start off with? Am I going to invest in? And remember, every medium that you use comes with different, it ranges whether their colors are alive, vibrant. You also, if you buy from Amazon, want to read customer reviews. You want to read reviews and what people have to say about the paints that you are selecting to use. All right. And there's no wrong way of creating your art, guys. It is your unique expression of who you are. Now, that is, I got my relationship, I got my goal, I got my brushes, I got my paints. Now, you can decide on what type of canvas board you're going to use. It has to be, I would suggest you use that cotton primed. It's already gessoed. Even though it's already gessoed for me, I still lightly gesso it. And am I going to use the very fine canvas board paper? Am I going to use that? Am I going to use a canvas board that is thicker, it's more solid in the back, thicker on the sides? Am I going to use this type of canvas board? It's a thicker canvas board, and it was already primed cotton. It is a stretched canvas board. This painting was done with acrylic from Nik Pro. Okay, this was my very first painting done with Nik Pro. Okay, on a thick canvas board. All right. Or am I going to use a thinner stretched canvas? Am I going to use a thinner stretched canvas board? This was already primed, right? This was done with Nik Pro acrylics as well. Look at those colors, how beautiful and vibrant they are. See them plants down here? It was done with my favorite brush. I love that. All right, so you got to decide what kind of canvas boards you're going to utilize. Now, those canvas boards come in different sizes. They come in very small ones. They come in extra small ones, medium, large, extra large, and then massive. All right, so they do come in different shapes and sizes. So when you go in there, you know, and I tell people all the time, you go to Hobby Lobby, they have like 6 canvas boards in a pack for $12.99. And they could be your practice canvas boards. You want to start off with practice canvas boards. I'm going to show you this one. I'm going to show you this practice canvas board. And this was really small. So think this was a 5x7, right? This was really small, right? So you can start off with practice canvas boards, guys, so that you're not going onto a canvas board and then you mess it up and you're frustrated. Or you can get canvas paper. There's canvas board paper, and you can work on the canvas board paper. I gave some of it away. It's called canvas pad paper. It comes, I think I got 12 sheets in here. My husband invested. He's my investor. He invested in canvas pad paper for me. So you can invest in those things just to start you off and start practicing. Because if this is something you want to do, start utilizing it, practice at it, and then build upon that. All right. So my relationship with the Lord, which medium am I going to put my time into? My brushes, my paints, my canvas boards. Now, the other thing, now that's your beginning. Okay. That's your beginning. My gesso, I have a water bottle. When you're dealing with acrylic paint, some acrylic paints dry really fast. So I spray as I go along to get that, mixing my colors. So it's a smooth transition from one color into another. So I have different size spray bottles. I pre-wet my my canvas board before I start anything. I let that sit just a little bit, and what that does is tighten up the canvas so that your paints don't sink into the canvas when you start actually going into your detailed craft. Then I have a little spray bottle that if I put my acrylic on the board and it's drying up, I just give it a little spritz and start, combining my colors and taking it across the board. So those are the little things that you want to get. Your gessos, I have a clear gesso. I have a white gesso. There are also black gessos. And I also have a liquid acrylic, a medium, that if I want to mix into my paints, it's slow drying. It creates my acrylic to be slow drying. So you want to be able to take care of that. Now, whatever medium you choose, whether it's acrylic, whether it's watercolor, whether it's oil, whether it's alcohol ink, or even if you want a resin, you want to see what materials you need to make it a safe journey for you as you go along in your development. So when I resin or when I'm using alcohol ink, guys, I have a respirator. All right, let me see if I have that here. I have a respirator. It's down there somewhere. There it is. I have a respirator. I have goggles. Let me see. I have a respirator. I have goggles that I use to prevent the fumes from getting into my nose, into my lungs. I do have a respirator I use when I am dealing with alcohol ink and when I am dealing with resin. And it has to be suitable for alcohol ink and it has to be suitable for resin. And this respirator mask is suitable for both. I also, when you get that, and I got that off of Amazon, it also came with goggles. So I really make sure that I cover my skin, I cover my eyes, I cover my breathing so that it doesn't impact my lungs. And I get nitrile gloves. That is for alcohol ink and that is for resin. So whatever you choose, it has to be it has to be a safety, that you're very safe with this, that you really take care of what your physical body so that your craft doesn't create health issues. All right. Now, as you develop, you can invest in more things. I invested in watercolor pencils. I invested in alcohol ink markers. I invested in brush markers. I invested in, because sometimes I want to underpaint. So I'll draw my picture. I will draw my picture like this one. I will draw my picture. I will draw it. I will cover it with a very light acrylic paint. And then I will paint inside of my drawing. So that's underpainting. So there's so many different things that we can learn, that you can do, that you can grow in. Now, once you have put in the time, you have invested it within your craft yourself, you are excelling, you are growing in this. Now it's time for investors. Well, how do you get your work out there? Well, welcome to social media. So letting people see your artwork, getting involved with another community of artists. I love dealing with Paint with Josh. If y'all need to check him out, Paint with Josh, and just growing from him and seeing what he has done, what he does. This painting right here, whoo, my goodness, so many. I was like, man, he makes this look so easy. This painting right here came from one of his classes. However, what I love about him as an instructor is he's showing you how to do it, but he always says this. if you want to do it differently and be you, just be you on the painting board. I love that because it encourages uniqueness. It encourages your own development. So I did copy some of his work, like, you know, his instruction while he was in class. But I said, sorry, Josh, there's a cutoff point with me. And I'm like, this is where I'm going. This is how I'm going to do this one. And so I love the freedom to express, you know, with him as a teacher, as an instructor. He allows you to do that. He allows you to do that in his classroom. So Paint with Josh is awesome. There's a couple of other artists that I watch online. They're a little bit more advanced. And what I'm finding is find the teachers that could teach you the skill and the technique without giving you so much that you feel like you can't accomplish what they're doing and what they're showing you. All right. So that is my encouragement for you upcoming artists today. I hope that this video has blessed you in some way and that has inspired you to take off and become very unique in what you're doing. One last thing I'm going to show you. I kept seeing balloons. Don't this painting look fun? This painting is so much fun. And it's called Gone with the Wind. It's called Gone with the Wind. And I received instructions for like almost a week from the Lord. He kept showing me that painting. And I don't care how silly you think it might sound or look, just do what I say God has told you. Put it on the canvas board and let somebody be blessed by it, because there is a serious truth hidden behind that painting. And it allows me to talk to people about what they're seeing, and allows me to pray with them when they are drawn to something that they have seen, and just to communicate with them and hear where they are, hear about their struggles, and then begin to join them with prayer concerning a situation they might be dealing with at that time that they saw the painting. So guys, I hope this has blessed you and encouraged you. Make sure you subscribe, share this page, like, and let's get ready to brush.